I'm Blackbright, broadcasting out the UK. Welcome to my channel, Saturday the 25th of July. I just thought I had to talk about this mandatory mask thing. I'm sure I'm not the only person who is totally confused and wondering what it is about the mandatory masks that all of a sudden people are being told it's mandatory to wear in one situation and not mandatory in another, when there seems to be the same class of people in both areas. Now, if you know the answer, then tell me, because I am totally baffled. Now, what they're saying, well, to be honest, the first thing is that if you're caught in a shop or any one of these areas where it's mandatory, you can be fined £100. The police can be called and you can be forcibly removed from the establishment. Now, what I want to know is it going to be the shopkeepers who are going to sell you out and tell the police that you're there without a mask? Is it the shopkeepers who are going to confront? I doubt it, because most shop owners or employees are told not to confront, because it's going to be detrimental to their health, or it could be turn out volatile. So is it going to be snitches? Is it going to be people like the community police? Is it going to be people in the shop who see somebody without a mask who's going to go and call the police, and they'll then tell the police that somebody's not wearing a mask? How is this going to be policed? How is it going to be managed? How is it going to turn out? For me, it's a recipe for disaster. I don't understand how. Okay, mandatory in shops, on public transport. I can understand public transport, but I can't really, because public transport, what's the difference between public transport and a restaurant? So they've got shops, public transport, supermarkets, banks, building societies and post offices as places where it's mandatory to wear a mask. Then you have restaurants, pubs, hairdressers, gyms, leisure centres, cinemas, libraries, museums and theatres where it's not mandatory. Now, say, for example, in a cinema, how many people can you get into a cinema? They're not saying that you have to enforce that 2-metre rule in order not to wear a mask. They're just citing certain areas where masks are not mandatory. Unless what they're saying is these non-mandatory, maybe that's what it is. Maybe the places where it's non-mandatory, they have to have processes in place to make sure that they social distance safely and all of those equipment are past their coronavirus test or whatever it is. Maybe the mandatory places where it's much harder to enforce, that is why you have to wear masks. I mean, I wish they would explain it, because only in rereading it now, I think that is probably why it is. In supermarkets, in public transports, but in public transports, they're still supposed to enforce a certain amount of distance. In the post office, you still have the rows where it says you can't pass. So it doesn't make sense to me. We're getting mixed messages regarding mandatory masks. And is it a money-making machine? Because it means that people are going to have to wear masks, buy masks. They're shooting up the prices of masks. I'm not quite sure whether if you wear a scarf, that counts as a mask. Now, some people are wearing 2 masks, one at the top, one at the bottom, so they can eat in between. That's costing them more to do that. I mean, I really haven't got a clue what's going on. I think that it's going to turn out into something that's not very nice, because when you're sending out confusing messages, it's bound to create confusion. When it creates confusion, it's bound to get in tussles with the law because it's not clear. As usual, we're getting mixed messages. The same way we were getting mixed messages about the lockdown, we're getting mixed messages now. It's almost like they're trying to catch people out. And the fact that they're saying that the police can be called and forcibly remove, it's almost like I said, they've got too much police officers with not enough to do. So now police officers can be called if people don't wear a mask. Before, they couldn't be called. Now they can. It's because they're standing there idle. They need to give them something to do. So all I'm saying is, for most people, just make sure you wear a mask where you're supposed to. Don't give anybody the opportunity to tell you to put one on. Don't give anyone the opportunity. Don't be defiant and allow somebody to shop you and tell the police or whatever that you're not wearing a mask. Got enough problems as it is without adding that to it. Next thing you know, you have a tussle with the police, you're in jail, you've got a criminal record. Why? Because you're not wearing a mask. The law is, as of yesterday, it's mandatory to wear a mask. So please, those who have ears, let them hear. Just wear the mask. As unattractive as it looks, get a designer one or something, but wear it. Just so you haven't got anybody on your back dictating, telling you what to do and making you wear it, and it's just not worth it. £100 fine for what? So sometimes these things are put in place to test your patience. And you have to understand that a lot of things that are happening now is to test you, is to put you on trial. So can you pass that test? Or are you going to go into your reactionary ways? Are you going to become rebellious? Are you going to become defiant? Are you going to be predictable? You don't want to do that. It's just not worth it. Wear a bloody mask and get on with it. Or don't go to the shops. Shop online. Probably even better. You know, it could be even a device for that, to stop shops continue subsisting. Because, you know, it's such a pain in the butt. The price of masks now is absolutely ridiculous. Everybody's jumping on the bandwagon. Now they're getting these masks because you can hardly breathe underneath them. You know, they're getting these masks with that little air hole in it, and that's expensive. Yes, we've got people. I'm not even quite sure if asthmatics are exempt. I couldn't find that they're exempt. But you've got children under 11, they're exempt. And you've got people who, for some reason of their disability, they don't need to wear a mask. But I don't understand why employees and shop workers don't have to wear a mask. So you as a patron has to wear a mask, but the shop employees don't have to wear a mask. That's what I'm saying. It's so contradictory. People in their place of work don't have to wear a mask. That's what I said. They're trying to catch people out. Why else would there be mixed messages? Why else would something not make sense? It doesn't make no sense at all. It's absolutely ridiculous. And then you're supposed to wash your hands before you put on the mask. Wash your hands after you put on the mask. I am just totally, I just wondered, how do you feel about the mask? Do you think it should be mandatory for everyone? Do you think that the sector that they've said who don't have to wear a mask, that's acceptable? And if so, why? And those who do have to wear a mask, is that okay? Am I getting confused, or are you confused as well? I just want to know. Maybe I'm not looking at it right, but I'd love to hear your views. Well, sign it in the comments. You can like, subscribe, share, and that's all for now. Bye bye. Short and sweet, this one.